so as not to be confused again. Hello again. I'm Melinda Scott. You may remember me. I'm a third grade teacher at Fabula. I told the girls who were in front of me that it's okay to be nervous because I get really nervous when I have to do this too. That's why I held down. The last time I spoke to you, I expressed my understanding of these difficult financial times, and I gave you some specific examples as to the impact the various cuts have had in my classroom. I still understand. I'd like to mention a few others tonight. When I completed my taxes this year, I was struck by the cold hard facts that I was making less gross pay in 2009 than I did in 2008. Additionally, I also tabulated my receipts for classroom expenses and realized that I had spent more on unreimbursed classroom expenses. I mentioned last time the financial impact of cuts to supplies and that they had on my classroom. I want to share one more. With the money I am allotted by my principal, I run my classroom on 6 cents per day per student. 6 cents. I shared this information today via email with a Common Council member as well. Why I tell you all this now? I believe strongly, very strongly, that there are a number of other line items in this education budget that have not been touched yet and that have not been looked at as to potential ways that we could cut. I could give you many examples. You can talk to me after if you want to hear them. My job as a classroom teacher gets harder and harder every year. One of the council members at last night's meeting said, the village is getting tired. The village is getting tired. I ask you, please, go back, take a close look at the other ways that you can touch instead of the classrooms and leave the classrooms intact. I know you can find a way. Everyone that's spoken here so far tonight has come to plead their case for their particular program of interest. Many of tonight's issues may be able to be resolved by just going back and taking one more look at some of those potential line items.
My name is Emily Cardalis, and I come here on multiple levels. I am a resident of Danbury. I'm in my 7th year teaching at Danbury High School, and I'm also the parent of 2 soon-to-be school-aged children who will be going to Danbury Public Schools. When my husband and I were looking for a place to live approximately 6 years ago, I was adamant about moving to someplace in Danbury, not New Fairfield or Heath Beaches or Brookfield or Newtown. I was adamant about finding a property in Danbury because of the plethora of choices my children would someday be given, because of the diversity that they would be enriched by, and because of the well-roundedness that I saw my students leaving Danbury High School as. When I hear about the ideas for cuts in the Danbury Public Schools, my heart sinks. To me, personally, full-day kindergarten hurts the most because that's what I'm going to be faced with. However, French and possibly Spanish being cut at the middle schools cuts just as deeply to my beliefs. Where is the well-roundedness and the choice going to be when electives and world languages are gone from the middle school experience? At Danbury High School, we have had 2, unfortunately not great reports from the state, from NEASC and from Cambridge. We are maxed out at class sizes. As a civics teacher, I tell you that I am here on behalf of my students saying that the quality of their education and the connections that they are being able to make with their teachers is greatly suffering. My smallest size class this year is 25. My largest is 30, and I teach the 9th grade honors program. I urge you to please look for other possible ways to cut. We've heard over and over again tonight the impact that teachers can have on students. I beg of you to fight for our children, demand other possibilities for not only my children, but also for the wonderful young men and women that I have the pleasure to teach at Danbury High. Thank you for your time.
Good evening. I'm a parent of a Millridge primary and a Millridge intermediate child. I'm also a public school teacher in New York. So I know the budget's tough.
What's your name?
Terry McCarthy. My son is a 4th grader at MRI, and I'm listening to all these ACE students talk about their family. But Millridge is a family, the primary and intermediate, even though it's 2 different campuses. And I'm listening to these young children struggling, and I'm thinking if they had smaller class size, if they had what they needed in the lower grades at Mill Ridge Intermediate, and they weren't shuffled off to another school, which is another change. That maybe they wouldn't have these problems as they get older. I'm looking at my son who's going into his 5th grade year in September at MRI, hopefully, and he's being sent over to King Street. I don't have a problem with him going to King Street, but he's been a Mill Ridge kid for 5 years. And for his 6th and final year, he's being sent to King Street. And as much as I love the King Street community, because I'm 4 houses outside of King Street, my kids' hearts are at Mill Ridge, and my heart is there too. I love the schools, I love the teachers, and I can't help but to think that if they're being shuffled off to another school, that they're going to feel it when they get to the middle school and the high school. The class sizes are inevitably higher there. And now my daughter, who's a 1st grader at Mill Ridge, now class sizes could go up there. There's going to be more children in there. It's going up to 3rd grade. I'm very concerned, and I'm concerned because it's a happy place. The children are happy. The teachers are happy. The administrators are happy. But when all this happens, the administrators aren't so happy. The teachers aren't so happy. And then the children come home with worries in their stomach. So I just want to say on behalf of, because the Mill Ridge children can't come and speak, they're too little. The ACE children are here. The Mill Ridge children need a voice too. And that has been their home for many years. And I know I mentioned it at the citywide PTO. If there's any possible way to even let those little 4th graders do 1 more year at the intermediate school and close it down the right way and let them face them out. As a mother of a 4th grader this year, I know all the other 4th grade parents would really appreciate that. So thank you for listening.
Good evening. My name is Mary Ann Sikorsky. I am a Danbury resident and a parent of 2 former Danbury Public School students, and I also am a teacher at Broadview Middle School. What is happening to education in Danbury? We're raising the bar for all the students, according to the newspaper, and yet we are witnessing proposals to eliminate valuable programs, specifically such as the world language instruction at the middle school level. If this should occur, there will be no advanced placement world language classes at DHS, and yet one of Danbury's goals is to increase participation in advanced placement courses at Danbury High School. Also, where will all the students who are presently attending the Western Connecticut Academy of International Studies, otherwise known as the Magnet School, where will they go at the middle school level if there's no language program there to support their learning? A school system is evaluated on its well-rounded selection of programs. I personally know many of those students who just received those wonderful math awards a few moments ago. It's not just math that elevated these students to excellence. It is a result of a well-balanced program that all of these students have found success. Teachers in the classroom are what impact the students, not more coaches or department heads or administrators. Please reevaluate some of the items that I have witnessed on this piece of paper that I have just been handed very, very recently. And please reconsider some of the proposals because it will negatively impact the students. Thank you very much.
I want to thank everyone who spoke and even everyone who attended that didn't speak for coming out tonight. Since I joined the board 3-4 years ago, I've always been an advocate of public awareness and participation in those decisions that affect the community. And I'm very encouraged from what I see this evening. So I encourage everyone to stay aware of what's happening throughout the process. Thank you very much.